I could tell she was losing weight rapidly. She was drinking a lot of liquids. She was being very moody. She had always been a very cheerful, sweet girl, and there were things in her personality that were changing. So whenever I or anybody else would talk to her about it, she would get irritable. There were things that just didn't coincide with her personality. That along with the weight loss and constantly drinking liquids in the middle of the night. So I took her to a total of 3 different pediatricians in order for her to get her correct diagnosis. The next morning, I'm at work and I get a call from the office saying that I needed to rush her to the emergency room. She was over 500 at the time, right? Was it 500? And they couldn't give me any answers. They just said I needed to take her into the emergency room.
I remember my stepdad coming early to school to pick me up. It was a movie day and I was eating my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he asked me if I had finished it, and I was like, no. He was like, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And I thought something was wrong with her when he told me that we were going to go to the hospital.
We went to the emergency room. They didn't have any rooms available, so we were basically in the hallway. And there was a lot of other beds in the hallway, and that's where she got diagnosed, in the middle of the hallway. There was so much commotion, there were so many people there, there was no privacy whatsoever. And I don't want to get emotional. And so a doctor just came and he just told me that she was type 1 diabetic. I had no idea what that meant whatsoever. And so I just said, well, how do we fix it? Like, how do we fix it? And he said, well, she's going to need insulin for the rest of her life. And when he said shots, it scared me because that's the last thing I wanted for her. And then, so she's laying there just staring at me, and of course I didn't have answers for her. I wanted her to not be scared, but I was scared. And so we went back and forth. We were pretty much in denial, and it was probably hours before we got a room. Once we got the room, they set us up with a nutritionist. All the information I know now, based on what we've learned, thankfully because of you guys and her endocrinologist, was like from the old ages of like cavemen. I mean, they just scared us even more. I went on social media and I shared my experience for the first time. I was so vulnerable. Immediately I started getting phone calls and messages, and a classmate from high school reached out and told me that her coworker, Carolina, she had a daughter that had type 1 diabetes, and she asked me if she could give her my information. And so I said yes. We met up with her and Sophia at Barnes & Noble maybe 2 or 3 days later. And we just sat down and talked and cried and laughed. And it was the first time since being diagnosed that we felt like we could communicate with somebody that knew more, that could answer even questions that we didn't even know we had, that made us feel like it was going to be okay, we were going to be fine. They gave us the information for the association, for camp, and that's how we got introduced. Looking back now, had I maybe posted something earlier, I would have gone through those horrible days and week that it took to be able to know that there was answers, that there was a group, that there was, you know, sources that could back us up and give us support and just help us deal with it sooner, earlier. And she didn't go to camp the first year. She was scared. But as soon as she started going, it just changed her life.
My mom said that we were going to go and meet somebody, and you know, we became friends with them, and then I was really scared to go to camp. I thought it was going to be like weird and like scary, and I went, and it was like amazing. We have like so many games, and it's like, it's not even really like, all the kids there are diabetic, but it's not like, oh, you have diabetes. It's just like normal there.